Daddy, and obeda.
We are beginning the funeral this evening. Today, Daddy will rest. We will not forget our two mothers. We need love to bury our father.
The ruling brings closure to days of uncertainty and allow fans, friends, and the entire creative arts fraternity to pay their last respect without legal complications. The funeral of Daddy Lumba is expected to be held here at the Heroes Park on December 13, as initially announced. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
And Ibrahim is joining us again from the funeral grounds. Ibrahim, if you can hear me, talk to us. What is the atmosphere at the funeral grounds?
Well, Grace, I can tell you that the arrangement for tents are intact. The days is also set for tomorrow's event. In fact, they are even preparing where they will lay Daddy Lumba, that's in state for people to come and see him. And as you can see at the background, a number of Daddy Lumba supporters and sympathizers are still here and observing what is happening. We've also seen police officers around just trying to ensure that preparations are not being marred by anyone. So what we are seeing, barring any last minute decision, it is likely that the funeral is going to happen tomorrow, unless, like I said, something happens last minute, because we've seen, even though I'm here to support family members of Daddy Lumba and also even the campaign, but the information we have received is that the body of Daddy Lumba is in Kumasi, and we are preparing the final funeral rites tomorrow.
So when we spoke to you in the afternoon, there was uncertainty, especially with the fans. Now that we know that the road has been cleared, what are the fans also telling you?
Well, mixed reaction, because whilst others are excited that the court has rescinded its decision or has allowed the funeral to go on, because we've had people who had come all the way from other regions to Kumasi. Some came since yesterday, some came today, hoping that the funeral will go on tomorrow. So in the morning, when the news came in that injunction has been placed on the funeral, clearly or obviously, most of them were disturbed because they didn't know whether they should return back to base or they have to wait to see what will happen, only for the decision to be reversed. So others are excited. Others were also hoping that the injunction will hold, so that at least by the time they are done with everything, the family would have been united, agreed on a specific date, so that all of them will be here for the final funeral rite of Daddy Lumba. But that didn't happen. So even as you can see at the background, people are just arguing, whilst others are saying that the funeral must come on tomorrow and they are excited for that reason. Others are also saying that if you look at the atmosphere, it doesn't even tell that Daddy Lumba's funeral will be happening here tomorrow. So at least we're expecting panels across board, billboards, and also even the spots around playing Daddy Lumba's song back and forth. But we are not seeing that kind of atmosphere. But we are just hoping to see what will happen tomorrow, whether indeed it will come on or there will be a change again.
And we'll definitely come back to Ibrahim if there's any change. Ibrahim Abubakar, our man in the Ashanti region.
Let's go to one of our headline stories we have for you this evening. And the Chief Justice, Paul Bafo Boni, has directed the temporary closure of the Kwame Danso District Court in the Bono East region. The directive follows Wednesday's violent mob attack that disrupted court proceedings and endangered judicial staff. The order, issued today, the 12th of December, comes as investigations continue into the unrest that also targeted the Kwame Danso Police Headquarters. The closure is expected to remain in force until further notice. And this, we are told, is not the first time that, a court proceeding has been disrupted by some unruly individuals. And as the police statement indicated, investigations are currently ongoing, so we are waiting to see what exactly the outcome of that investigation will be. But let's speak to Abdullahi Yakubu, who is the General Secretary for the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAG. Mr. Yakubu, good evening. Thank you for joining us on TV3.
Good evening, Mr. Martin.
This news of the order from the Chief Justice must come as good news to you, is it not? That because we know that your association, considering that some of your members were at work when this attack happened, you are hopeful that you are applauding the call by the Chief Justice.
But the news is quite refreshing to us. It was expected that the closure will follow suit after our call and given the background to the case. So what the Chief Justice has done is a sign that he places the welfare of staff at heart. And we are very grateful to the Chief Justice for the step that has been taken to ensure that the court is closed down until it is safe for the staff to return to work.
Do you know what really transpired in court? What exactly was happening before the mob attacked the court officials?
Okay, so the information we have gathered from the facts attached to the charges in the case that resulted in the attack was that the persons who attacked the court had earlier attacked a community referred to as Nyanse Bator around the same area and burnt down about 13 thatched houses and destroyed other properties. So the residents of the community that was under attack reported to the police, who then made arrest of 2 persons, but charged 3 persons, and 1 person was at large. Then, when the 2 persons were brought to court, they were remanded into police custody, and that angered the persons who did the attack. And if you read from the facts of the case, the 2 persons who were brought to the court seem to be the ones leading the group that earlier on attacked the Bator community, and they are said to be coming from Lassi, a suburb of Kwame Danso. So I think that the general feeling was that if they led us to attack the Nyanse Bator community earlier, and they are standing trial for an action that all of us have engaged in, then we should not allow them to stand trial as required by law. So they had to mass up at the police station. And when they heard that their colleagues were remanded into police custody, they proceeded to the court to disturb the proceedings, destroyed furniture, and even tried to have access to the magistrate and court staff to harm them. But God being so good, they were not, the staff were not harmed.
Finally, what outcome are you looking forward to so we make this kind of action unattractive?
So the immediate step taken by the Honorable Chief Justice is the closure which we called for and has been granted. We've read the police statement that the investigations are ongoing. We feel that the police statement is long overdue. We should have had this information on Monday, on 10th of this month when the incident happened. I don't know if the matter had not come to the public knowledge, whether the police would have issued a statement. And for 3 days, from 10th up to now, it's almost 3 days, and we expected that there should have been an arrest of persons instead of information that investigations are ongoing. I mean, they took the suspects to the police station, got the station officer to unlock the keys for the suspects to be freed by these hoodlums. Wow. Obviously, their faces are known to the police who were on site, and we think that there should have been some arrests made by the police by this time. But if the arrests are still not done, our expectation is that by all means, there should be some arrest and prosecution of the perpetrators of the mob violence, so as to serve as deterrence to others. Okay. And this is not the first time. If you check 2023, there was a similar incident in Tamale. We called for enhanced security measures in the court. Of course, the district court in Tamale has now been renovated with perhaps some kind of enhanced security. But there appear not to be some kind of following through the prosecution to deal with the perpetrators. And this time around, the mob that attacked the court, we have been told, had earlier attacked the police station not less than 3 times. And if no action is taken against them, we are afraid that when the court is reopened and the police station is also reopened, they are likely to come back and attack them because there had not been any consequences for their prior violent and unlawful conducts.
Right. Abdullah Yakubu, thank you for your time, and certainly would wait to see what the outcome of the investigation will be. He is the General Secretary of the Judicial Staff Association of Ghana.
Well, let's do some other stories now. The United States government says it will take some time for extradition requests to be processed after government formally began processes to have former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and his aide Ernest Akori returned to the jurisdiction. At a press briefing, U.S. officials praised Ghana for extraditing 9 Ghanaians to the U.S. to answer charges of romance fraud, the highest so far recorded.
Ghana's relationship with the United States has grown in leaps and bounds. The strongest indication of that growth, according to senior U.S. officials, is Ghana's cooperation in helping deal with threats across the West African sub-region. In the area of cyber-related crimes, U.S. officials say Ghana has been one of its best allies. This year alone, a record 9 Ghanaians have been extradited to answer for crimes in relation to romance fraud and other related crimes in the U.S.
And 9 individuals from Ghana in 1 year is an extraordinary achievement, and the cooperation with the government, obviously with the president, with the Attorney General, the Interior Minister, has been extraordinary. It's been really, really strong collaboration. Just yesterday, they arrested someone who we have an extradition request for, and we're very pleased about that. Extraditions always take a little bit of time to sort of finalize, but it's been really, 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 really important. And talking about who some of these people are, there's public announcements about this. Most of them have been involved in cyber crime, or what we call elder crime.
On questions about the extradition of Ghanaians from the U.S. to Ghana, particularly on the back of conversations over Ken Ofori-Atta's return to the country, the U.S. officials say that would take some time.
I would say, well, actually, I just really wanted to go to the United States. And we have seen President Trump's made it very clear that people have been abusing our migration system for many, many years, to the point where we have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in the United States illegally. And that's what this is about. It's about the president's priority and why we have focused on it around the world.
The process of evaluating an extradition request is on the American side is very well established, and it is not generally very quick. And so we receive a request. It goes through the various mechanisms that we have to undertake. But the door is always open for those requests. There's no individual case that can be prejudged because U.S. judges make decisions on this. And they are, of course, a separate branch of government. So they have the ability to approve or disapprove a request. But we're always open to that kind of collaboration, absolutely.
The two governments are meanwhile fast advanced in agreeing financing to strengthen Ghana's health infrastructure.
In more news this evening, the Ministry of Transport has announced that motorcycle and tricycle riders seeking to operate commercially must join a recognized union and obtain full certification from the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, the DVLA, following the passage of the Road Traffic Amendment Bill 2025. Speaking to journalists, the Transport Minister Joseph Nikpe Bukari explained that requiring commercial riders to belong to an association will make it easier for authorities to identify and sanction offenders who flout road traffic regulations.
We want to caution that it is not yet law till the President finalizes it. We also want to state that in the bill, it has a lot of procedures you have to follow, especially the motor riders who are going to get the opportunity to be engaged in this commercial business. You have to register as a commercial motor rider that will do commercial business. And you have to belong to a union. You also have to have the standard that DVLA will set for you in terms of your protective gear, the helmet, the kind of motorbike you have to use. And so there are processes that we have to go through before they can engage. So for now, we have to still be patient and allow all processes to be conducted to the full, and then we can now take advantage of getting some job opportunities in the transport sector. as to the accident rate of the motor riders. And I believe that because there was not any legal framework binding the activities. For instance, any of them that got to a traffic light that was red, they will not stop because the police will get them at the traffic light, because they were engaging in an illegality. So they were always trying to run away from the law enforcement, or they were always trying to dodge the police when they are in traffic. So they were doing their things in a fast manner that created most of these accidents. And again, I stated that in the bill, we have a lot of strict punishment in it for such people. And so it is creating job opportunity for you. You have to also work to live long to take advantage of that opportunity. And so now that we are going to have a legal framework to control the activities of those riders, it is our belief that it will bring discipline, it will bring sanity, and we will have a more respected Okada business in our country.
Let's go to the Upper East region, because there was a temporary chaos at the Gori Senior Technical High School in the Bongo districts of the region, where students nearly attacked the embattled headmistress. The incident occurred when she visited the school after 5 months of absence due to investigations into alleged mismanagement of school funds and theft of food items. Her presence provoked both students and many staff members, but the timely intervention of the police helped calm the situation. Since July 2025, the headmistress has been forced to abandon her duties as a result of students' agitations. Since then, a committee of inquiry was set up to investigate the issues, but no report has yet been released. The district chief executive for Bongo, Joseph Abba, has called for calm and urged the committee handling the investigations to speed up and present the report for further action.
Now, Sulu Investments Limited, producers of Nero Water and Beverages, and Breast Society Ghana have signed a Memorandum of Understanding. The MOU is aimed at supporting and championing breast cancer policies and joint action for breast cancer.
In Ghana, breast cancer has emerged as the leading cancer in women, with over 5,000 new cases reported in 2022, accounted for nearly 18.4% of all cancers diagnosed. This reality underscores the importance of collaboration and support for breast cancer treatment. To help reduce the statistics, Sulu Investment Limited, producers of Nero Water and Beverages, and Breast Society Ghana have signed a Memorandum of Understanding to intensify awareness, improve early detection, and support policies that save lives.
I always have the belief that the women are the backbone of society. By committing to the breast cancer, we are investing and we are supporting women in terms of a mother, daughter, sister, wife, and friend. So that is the reason why we chose Breast Cancer Society.
President of the Breast Society Ghana, Dr. Josephine Nsafo, called on corporate Ghana to deepen its investment in social responsibility initiatives that strengthen national efforts against cancer.
Our clinics are overwhelmed with breast cancer patients, and we are seeing a lot of young women actually with breast cancer. Here we are seeing corporate activities turn into meet a need in the society. And for everyone who purchases Nero Water, know that you are supporting a good cause.
For every pack of Nero Water and beverages purchased, a portion of proceeds will support breast cancer patients through the Breast Society of Ghana. Sulu Investment Limited are producers of Nero Mineral Water, Prime Mineral Water, and other carbonated soft drinks.
And the Otumfuo Center for Traditional Leadership at the University of Professional Studies, in collaboration with UNFPA, has held a stakeholder engagement and closing ceremony for some students and traditional leaders. The event focused on strengthening awareness on gender-based violence and exploring lasting solutions to address the issue.
Key custodians of culture and community norms, traditional leaders remain important in the fight against gender-based violence in the communities. They use their influence to challenge harmful practices and promote protection for women and girls. For this reason, the Otumfuo Center for Traditional Leadership and the UNFPA convened the stakeholder engagement to empower both students and traditional authorities with the knowledge and tools needed for positive social change. Dr. Joseph Gerald Nyanyefio is the acting director of the Otumfuo Center for Traditional Leadership.
We believe that through our carefully curated bouquet of modules that you have gone through, we have been able to support your quest for enhanced leadership competency. It remains our fervent hope that you will operationalize the knowledge that you have acquired to make your reign and your traditional areas better off.
The National Program Analyst for Gender and Gender-Based Violence at the UNFPA, Faisal Bawa, highlighted the need for gender issues to be taken seriously.
Gender-based violence is rooted in culture and tradition, and having them as owners of this tradition and culture will help us to be able to address the issues.
The Queen Mother of Osudoku, Nana Amponsa Dukwa, called for the restructuring of the educational curriculum.
We should go back, look at our syllabus, the curriculum, let's look at them very well. Let's see what is there that we have to teach these children so that they will know, learn from the grassroots. They should know how to deal with humans.
Under the theme Gender-Based Violence, the Role of Traditional Leadership, 35 students graduated from the closing ceremony.
The Luckiest Africa has extended support to visually impaired persons in Accra with a donation of 1,000 white canes to the Ghana Blind Union at the Accra Rehabilitation Center. The gesture, made under the company's corporate social responsibility, is expected to enhance the movement and independence of beneficiaries.
Known for its fast-growing lottery game that has gained wide popularity across the country, The Luckiest Africa is extending its impact to social responsibility. In a media engagement after the donation, the CEO of The Luckiest Africa, Dennis Iduchum, explained the motivation behind the gesture.
We made a promise to the Ghana Blind Union to buy some white canes to distribute to its members. And today we've redeemed that promise. We have presented 1,000 white canes. These are mobility canes for the visually impaired. And we know it's going to go a long way to help people living with disability. Luck is everywhere. It is not just for the able, but for people with disability as well.
Receiving the donation, the center manager of the Accra Rehabilitation Center, Seth Jijonu, spoke about how it is going to help the student.
If you go to the villages, some of them don't even have the white cane. They don't even know how to use it. So as it is here, they are going to distribute to all of them, those in the districts, those in the villages. Everybody is going to get their share, and it's going to help them to maneuver wherever they want to go.
The team organized a raffle draw for students and staff of the center. Esther, a student, shared her excitement after winning a prize.
I don't know that they are going to call my name, so the time they called my name, I was shocked. I was like, hey, so me to have won some of the luckiest gifts. I was so excited. Thank you, the luckiest.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. Business, sports and entertainment are all coming up. to restructure debts owed them by the Ghanaian government, a key step to have aid restored back to the country. Ghana currently is on a list of banned countries who cannot receive aid, including the Millennium Challenge Compact support, after the country defaulted on its debt obligations to the U.S. Addressing a news conference, senior officials stressed significant progress has been made to see financial support return to Ghana.
6 months and has been working on restructuring bilateral debt. So the government of Ghana defaulted on funding from Ecobank a few years ago. I can't remember which year, but a few years ago. And we're in the midst of restructuring that debt. But as long as there's a bilateral default, we aren't able to give additional funding directly to the government. It's a law. And so we're working on that. We're hopeful that we'll get that done shortly. But it as characterized in that media article, is not entirely accurate. Yeah, at least.
And just to add on that too, there are certain elements of our assistance funding that are exempt from those limitations, as in the health sector. So which makes it confusing to understand. We fully respect that. Yeah, as he said, the original announcement on this was actually back in August. So there has not been some new development in that regard. We're hopeful. We are in the process of negotiating the bilateral bilateral debt restructuring. We haven't quite finalized it yet, but those discussions continue and they've been quite fruitful.
In more business news this evening, the Ghana Revenue Authority, the GRA, has ramped up its tax compliance and enforcement operations across the country, citing a disturbing pattern of non-compliance among taxpayers. Assistant Commissioner in charge of Accra Area Enforcement, Joseph Anan Ajekwe, issued a stark warning to non-compliant businesses, stating that attempts to conceal records would lead to preemptive tax assessments that could result in prohibitive high tax liabilities.
During a tax compliance and enforcement exercise in Accra, officials of GRA visited 5 shops. The first port of call was Ivan Plastics, a Chinese-owned company at Achimota. The owner was summoned to appear before the tax body. Assistant Commissioner in charge of Accra Area Enforcement, Joseph Anan Ajekwe, explains.
They are doing selective issuance. The place belongs to a Chinese. They sell plates, plastic plates. There was no available record to pick. So we have invited him to the office. When he comes, then we will bring in our CID to take charge of the situation. They claim they don't have records. And in such situations, we have to project. And please, if you think you can hide records, and for me, if I project, you go and bring the records. Because I'll project, the figures will so high that you'll not be able to pay.
In a separate action, GRA officials partially sealed off Kitia Furniture and Decoration at Springtex. This action was reportedly taken due to challenges the company is facing in implementing the electronic VAT system.
Kitia, where we find ourselves now, they are also supposed to be on the EVAT, but they are telling us there are some technical challenges. So they were not able to. I have decided to do partial enforcement by doing partial seal-off. Sky Wonderland, they claim they are registered, but there was no VAT invoice. They tell us they've gone to the office and they couldn't get the invoice to buy. This story will not entertain. So we are picking their records. We are going to go into the records and then we will assess them preemptively and then we will ensure that they get our invoices to operate. Inter-Africa, they are supposed to be on the EVAT. Apparently, they are not complying fully with the EVAT regulations.
Now, Ecobank Ghana has kicked off a first draw of the 5-star Lucky Promo. The promo is a customer reward campaign designed to appreciate and honor loyal clients for their continuous partnership with the bank.
The 5-star promo is part of Ecobank's broader strategy to strengthen customer engagement, enhance products awareness, and promote the use of convenient banking channels, particularly its digital platforms and the bank's extensive agent network. Head of Marketing and Brand at Ecobank Ghana, Regina Ofori, explained that the promo is the bank's way of expressing gratitude to customers for their loyalty and trust over the years.
We thought that getting to the end of the year, what could we do and give back to them? And that's why we put together this exciting promotion that gives us a fair opportunity to give all our customers a fair chance of getting a reward and a little token from us to celebrate the festive season. So there are shopping vouchers, gift vouchers, there are fuel vouchers that we are giving to those that are commuting as well. And of course, we also have cash prizes, so there's money. So there are buckets of customers today, over 20 of them that are each walking away with 2,000 Ghana cedis. We also had 5 sets of customers, each winning 10,000 Ghana cedis.
Account executive for Ecobank at the National Lottery Authority, Priscilla Ekwamwa, assured customers that the draw process is transparent, secure, and conducted under strict supervision to ensure fairness.
I want to assure everyone that what we do is free and fair. We as the regulators ensure that the data we get from Ecobank is without any friends and family. Even if it's in there, we take them out. And then we go through several checks before we actually do the draws.
The 5-star Lucky promo runs until January 31, 2026, with several more draws scheduled in the coming months. Ecobank expects that more than 10,000 customers will benefit before the promo ends.
This is still News 360 on TV3. That's it for business. Stay with us. We have the latest in the world of sports.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen. Our siblings Renee and Niara are determined to make it on the court while they navigate their rivalry and the huge responsibility that comes with being compared to the Williams sisters. With support from the family, the duo shared their dreams with 3 Sports Akosia J, who tells their story.
The Williams sisters playbook has inspired a generation of young black female tennis players in the world. There are quite a number of pro tennis players now whose early careers have mirrored that of the Williams in a way. Naomi Osaka and her sister Marie are the biggest example. Here in Accra, Victoria Dowuna and Genevieve Passmon have carved a path for girls who are falling in love with the racket and the court. Following closely in their footsteps are siblings Naira and Renee Sangari. 2 budding talents determined to make their mark with every serve, forehand and backhand. Their mission: to dominate the court one day and reach the greatness of the Williams sisters.
So many people have compared us to the Williams sisters. Almost everywhere we go. Oh, so you guys are like the Williams sisters. Yeah, we always get compared.
It pushes me because I really like the Williams sisters and I want to be like them. I instantly want to push myself harder so I can get to their level.
At just 10 and 12 years old, Naira and Renee's hunger for excellence drives them to push past every challenge. Much like Serena and Venus, the sisters share a beautiful bond at home. Yet, on the court, there's a competitive edge that's between the two. This rivalry was on full display at the 2025 Donko Tennis Education Foundation Invitational Girls U14 Final, where 10-year-old Naira stunned spectators by clinching the title against her older sister, Renee.
The first round, I played one of my friends. I won. Then the second round, I played my sister. Yeah, it was a tough match, but I won. Then the third match I played, I won too. It was a round robin, so we went to the final. I had to play her again for the final. That one was more challenging because she had risen her level and she was playing better.
I enjoy playing with her and she is my toughest opponent. So the next tournament, I'm definitely going to win it.
It is their father's hope that with time, support and the right structures, tennis in this country will be elevated so as to give young players like his daughters the platform they deserve.
Get behind the sport, support the women, the child athletes, and they will become great female professionals. And even if they don't become professionals, data shows that about 60 to 70% of women in the corporate world, especially at C-suite level, played a certain sport as a child.
The Akati Sangari family know that the journey to the top can be tough, but with every serve and every step, Naira and Renee are on the right path to the pinnacle of the sport they love.
Now to our next story, a group of benevolent individuals led by Dr. Daniel Fobi, a Ghanaian lecturer based in the United States of America, has donated a brand new laptop to Mohammed Abdullah, a former student of Swedru Senior High School who has lived with a physical disability since November 2015. Abdullah's story gained renewed attention after it was featured in a 3 Sports documentary which aired on TV3. Deeply moved by the challenges highlighted in the story, Fobi mobilized funds with support from Abdullah's alma mater, spearheaded by the headmistress, Mrs. PSA Golda Esiandam, to purchase the laptop. The device fulfills a crucial request made by the 29-year-old who disclosed in a documentary that he had completed a graphic design course at IPMC and needed a laptop to work and provide for himself and his family. The presentation took place on Friday, December 12, 2025, and was made by John Boyson, the former housemaster at Swesco, during the time of Abdullah's accident. In addition to the laptop, the gesture was complemented by financial support from Godwin Andam, while Mr. Boyson himself also donated provisions to support Abdullah and his mother. That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen. There's more in the bulletin after the break.
Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Entertainment tonight. Hours after the restraining order was revoked, setup and preparations for the final funeral rite of the late High Life legend Daddy Lumba resumed. Logistics companies have moved swiftly into action, putting key structures and arrangements in place for the ceremony. Some die-hard fans of the High Life legend spoke to us.
In the past 12 hours, conversations about the final funeral rite of the late High Life legend Daddy Lumba have generated heated arguments across several news portals. Preparations at the funeral grounds in Kumasi were earlier halted following an injunction secured at the Accra High Court. However, just hours after the restraining order was revoked, setup and preparations have resumed. Logistics companies are now in full action, putting structures in place for the funeral. Some die-hard fans of the celebrated musician say they are excited about the court's decision. Others, however, hold a different opinion, noting that the current setup may not be adequate enough to accommodate the large number of fans expected at the event.
All came. We all saw what happened in Accra. I was there myself. I witnessed everything. But I think for now, what I've seen here, it doesn't fit.
In international news this evening, Benin's foreign minister says some 200 West African soldiers, mainly from Nigeria and Ivory Coast, are in Benin to support the government following Sunday's failed coup. The attempt was foiled after Nigeria deployed fighter jets to drive the mutineers out of the military base and state TV headquarters, where they had declared a takeover. This is the first time that officials have said how many foreign soldiers were deployed to the country, although it is not clear if some have been withdrawn since Sunday. Benin's Foreign Affairs Minister said that some of the original troops sent to help had remained in the country as part of the sweep and cleanup operation. A manhunt for those involved in the plot is currently underway, with the leader of the failed coup said to be taking refuge in neighboring Togo. The rebel soldiers justified their actions by criticizing President Patrice Talon's management of the country, complaining first about his handling of the continuing deterioration of the security situation in northern Benin. That's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Esiedudate.
And I am Grace Hamuajiman. Log on to 3news.com and get some more stories. Good evening.